All right. Pretty unique episode for Chainlink Sports Talk. I have returning guest Josh Cohen. Josh is one of my first guests. He was episode 4. But this time, bringing Josh back in a new environment. I also have Andrew Ammazzalorso. Oh man, you,
Yep,
you
you
got to help me
got
with
it.
that last
You
name.
got
Oh,
it.
Ammazzalorso.
Yes, sir.
Oh wow,
Good.
I'm impressed with myself. So Andrew is the founder of the Keep Smiling Foundation, and I've been fortunate enough to partner Josh. Josh and I have been able to partner with Andrew. So now through Josh's content that we're going to be making, and through his baseball season and whatever we come to terms with, we're going to be raising money, raising awareness for the Keep Smiling Foundation. So we're really cool to be partnered up with Andrew. So I guess Andrew, how'd you get started with this whole Keep Smiling Foundation?
So my sophomore year of high school, my father passed away of pancreatic cancer after his 4-year battle with it. I decided my senior year, I kind of felt like hopeless. I really wanted to help like people. I didn't want people to go through what I had to go through, and what my father had to go through. So I decided the senior year, I'm like, I'm just gonna, start a foundation. My mom's like, wait, started in college. Ended up starting at my senior year at my high school, started selling bracelets, and then I started contacting a few minor league baseball players. They got behind it. And it started to gain a lot of traction. At first we didn't raise a lot of money, but we did raise awareness. But my first 2-3 years, we raised around $3,000. And then during this pandemic, we've raised over like 20 grand for pancreatic cancer research. And it was through like MLB streamers, like playing MLB just constantly for 24 hours, and like random people donate. One streamer donated like $5,000, and it was pretty awesome. It was a lot of fun, but every day we're just pushing for more and more awareness spread. And now I'm here now, and it's been a crazy ride. So that's how I kind of got started with the Keep Smiling Foundation.
Yeah, for sure. And Josh, I know I already had you on the podcast, and some people know your story, but I guess for Andrew here, because I kind of gave him a brief overview, but also just for anybody who doesn't know, I guess kind of explain your story and then why, this is like a good fit for you, like through the Keep Smiling Foundation.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy ride to say the least. Starting at age 15 is when I was diagnosed originally with cancer, rare form of bone cancer called Ewing sarcoma, located in my right cheekbone right here. That's why I'm probably like 4 days shaved out right now, but my beard only grows from this side over because I had proton beam radiation, and that radiation basically killed all my hair cells, my skin cells, and my hair cells, and all that kind of stuff. My sweat glands, like I don't sweat on this side, like, and I don't grow a beard on the side, so everything over, it's kind of is where the hair is. Whatever, no big deal. So I went through all that kind of stuff. I went through about 10-11 months of chemo and radiation. I went to Hackensack Hospital where I got treated, and that was with ages 15 and 16. I was diagnosed officially July 20th, 2016. I started chemo right away on August 1st, 2016, and I finished my treatment on April 7th, 2017, officially cancer-free on May 1st, 2017. In the middle of that, of course, you don't forget these dates. On November 15th, 2016 till January 6th, 2017 is when I endured my radiation treatments. It was I have my poster right here. I went through 31 days of radiation. I had 14 cycles of chemo. I had about 20 blood transfusions, platelet transfusions. I went through it all. And since I was 15, 16, like I was a up and coming teenager, my body was able to take intense chemo and intense treatment. So they're like, it's going to be intense, it's going to be rough. I'm like, give it to me. Like, I'm going to beat this shit. Like, I know I'm strong enough to get through it. You call my doctors and my mom on it. On the day they told me that I had cancer, they sat me down in the hospital. The first thing I said wasn't, am I going to survive? The first thing I said was, when's the next time I can pitch again? And you can call anyone on it. It's exactly what I said, because I knew I was strong enough to make it.
Sounds like you, man. I believe you. Sounds like you.
It's literally me. And all I want to do is play baseball again and get on that mound. Because I saw success before I was diagnosed. I was 15. At the age of 15, I was throwing like 87 already. Like, I felt great, and I was up and coming, whatever. But I didn't have any idea what I was doing with my body. I had no idea what I was doing with my health, what I was eating, working out, like nothing, not at all. I was just kind of raw. And then I went through what I went through, and it kind of matured me and made me into the person I am today. Gave me a different perspective on everything. totally changed my lifestyle, my approach to things, my mentality. And, I can go on and on about my story. If there's any more questions you want to ask about my story, I'm glad to answer them. But, I want to partner with Andrew so bad because, I've been following his foundation for, I think, like years now. And he's followed me back too. And I know, like, I didn't have pancreatic cancer. I had rare form bone cancer, but, it all falls in essentially the same category. And I love helping people. I love helping people who are going through a struggle, and I've helped kids on the side too as well that had my type of cancer or just had cancer in general. Shout out to my boy Charlie Landers. He lives in Freckling Lakes. He just beat cancer a few months back. He had the same
Awesome.
type I did, but it was in his hip. Um, Shout out Jake Rudd. He started treatment right before he went to Wayne Valley. He started treatment right before me, and then he's had bunch of surgery and stuff like that to go along with his journey, but he's made it out. He's cancer free, thank God. I love helping people, and I've seen what Andrew does. He shouts out all these people. Everyone's here to support him, and I'm all along with that. I'm all on the journey, and I want to do it with him. So I think we can make something special with it.
Definitely can't wait to get this thing going. It's gonna be a lot of fun, Josh.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. And like when I started Elevate Media, not that, it's been around forever, but like I wanted to be around guys like Josh. Like I consider Josh a friend. But like I haven't known him, for years like some of the other guys.
That's my brother, man. That's my brother, man.
Oh, hey, listen, we're getting close. Hey, listen, I love Josh. I have the highest amount of respect for Josh, and he was one of the guys that I know would be perfect for what I wanted to do in terms of growing people's names and helping them. And once he mentioned your foundation, and I did a little bit of research on it, I was like, this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. I'm very excited to get this going for all three of us. I think it'll be very beneficial. But so I'm all on board too.
Oh yeah, and we already got 2 more guys that want to do it. So
yeah,
got to build the squad.
That's right.
Yeah, no doubt. So I guess I want to share a Josh story too. This isn't probably like an insane Josh story that most other people have, but I remember one of the first times I walked into the gym where me and Josh work out at. One of our buddies, Rich, was just showing me around or whatever, and he's like, this is where this is and whatever. And like Josh was like pushing a sled, or he was doing some like med ball stuff, and my friend Rich goes, "Yo, like that's Josh, like that's the kid who beat cancer." I'm like, "Oh, I was like, oh really? That's him." And Rich is like, "Yeah, dude, like he's like he looked nothing like what he looked like now."
Oh my.
Like, and he goes like all the shit that happened when he had cancer, and like obviously like he wasn't like in playing shape obviously, but like he's like he turned all that into like muscle, and he's worked hard. And I remember walking past him and like I was thinking about like going up to him and like introducing myself, but he had this like determined face. I was like, oh, I'm not messing with this fucker. Yeah. He was like, he's gonna punch me in the face if I bother him during his workout. But I could see the determination in his eyes, and that's kind of guy that Josh is. But that was definitely my first impression of Josh.
Hey, appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, man.
When I'm in that zone, you can't interrupt that.
I know.
It's the only way. Like stuff like this will like change your work ethic. It'll make you get a new appreciation for life, and you just end up turning that into motivation, it'll turn into motivation, and it'll drive you towards your goal. And
exactly,
you're gonna tear it up, man. Keep tearing it up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's like taking nothing for granted. Everything I do, everything I put into my everyday routine, whether that's throwing, lifting, eating, diet, all that kind of stuff. Like I'm either tracking it, I'm making sure I'm doing the right thing, because I want to make sure I'm doing everything I can possible in a positive way that can help me in my future goals and to elongate, my profession, which is playing baseball, which is what I want to do in the future, obviously. So I don't want anything to stop me. I don't think anything is going to stop me. And I want to live with no regrets. And I just want to, keep pushing until I can no more. But I feel like I'm in a really great state of mind, especially I'm 3 years, 7 months cancer free right now. So I'm still working on my way back. They say you're not officially cleared until 5 years later. So I'm not even 100% yet, which is, pretty crazy. But that's just my story, and I'm just gonna keep working. Nico, that story's crazy. That's the first time I heard it.
Yeah, no, it's not like a groundbreaking story that the guys are there with you through your journey, but that was definitely my first impression of you.
Yeah, no, that's funny, bro.
Yeah, But before I get back to you, Josh, Andrew, I'm just curious, like, what kind of guys have you worked with in terms of like professional guys?
Professional guys, I'll start you out like the New York Mets because I know you run a New York Mets podcast. I got
Hey,
Pete Alonso, Daniel Zamora, Jeff McNeil, Brandon Nimmo,
Nice.
Drake Gagnon, Drew Smith,
Yeah.
Peterson, the whole likes, Robinson Cano, sad to see him go,
yeah.
that's his own fault, but
Whatever. Move on.
we won't another day.
Yeah.
Starling Marte on when he was with the Pirates, Gregory Polanco with the Pirates. I've had guys like up and coming like Nolan Gorman from the Cardinals. I've had Royce Lewis wear my bracelets in the futures game.
Yeah. Wow.
I was at Cleveland. I've had Big Poppy has taken a photo with Gregory Polanco with my gear. That photo was pretty awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's just like, I've had guys, Frankie Montas on the Athletics.
Yeah.
He wore that he wore it in game, and that was pretty awesome. And then Juan Soto, my biggest guy. He wore in the World Series. Like I saw it on TV. I started freaking out. My mom was like, "What's going on, Andrew? Like, are they finally beating the Astros?" You know? And I'm like, no, like I don't care. He's wearing my bracelet on TV. It was pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Pete Alonso was by far one of the nicest guys I've met so far, like in person. Real great guy. Literally signed baseballs and talked with people for he skipped like 3 rounds of BP and still managed to hit a game-winning home run.
Yeah,
so that was nuts. Yeah,
that's the kind of guy he is, though. That's amazing.
What's crazy to go along with that is I had my Make-A-Wish. And my Make-A-Wish was I wanted to pitch in front of as many MLB or college/MLB scouts as possible because at that time I wasn't committed. I later on committed like a year later to UConn. But that was my Make-A-Wish. So they flew me down. It was the winter/spring going into my junior year of high school. And they flew me down to Port St. Lucie. And so my thing was they let me pitch a bullpen in front of their coaches. And they gave me all this gear. They just so happened to be playing the Yankees at the same time in spring training. So this is also the Yankees got me this kind of gear as well. But, I got all this kind of stuff. And so I started off in the bullpen. I was pitching to their catcher. His name is, what the hell is his name? I have his contact in my phone. I can find it later. But I was pitching to him and there was like 3 coaches watching me. And they're like, oh, just this Make-A-Wish kid, whatever. I'm like, I'm telling you, like, I might be a Make-A-Wish kid, but like, this is what I want to actually do. Like, I take this stuff seriously. Like, I'm actually a pitcher. Like, I'm not just a kid who wants to throw a bullpen. Like, it's not a joke. Yeah. Like, okay. So like, I was throwing my bullpen, and I was probably like mid to high 80s at that point. I was like a year or so cancer free, whatever. And by the end of my bullpen, there were about 30 people watching me. Like, I don't know where they came from. There's about 30 people watching me. Like the people to come watch the game, the preseason game, they were watching me like, who is this celebrity? Like, who is this kid? And it was such a great experience. Like, they also let me go in the dugout with the players. I met like David Wright, Jay Bruce. I met Tebow. Tebow is probably the nicest guy I've ever met in my entire life. I remember I went up to him and I was like, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. He goes, he didn't even say like his name. He's like, God bless you. I'm like, God bless you. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, he's literally the nicest guy. I met all those kinds of guys. I watched them pitch and stuff like that. So the Mets are really great organization that I can second with you in that on. And also Sandy Alderson had cancer. And also, I don't know if he still has cancer, but I know he's been around that world a lot, which is kind of crazy. But that was just in addition to what you were saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, Josh, like, where are you at now in terms of your pitching and your progression to to play a professional baseball? Because like, we all know that it's a process, but like, where are you right now in terms of your throwing stuff and all that?
Yeah, so since it's the winter, I'm in the middle of my throwing program right now, going into week 5 of a 8 total week weighted ball program. I actually. Newsflash, about a week ago, I actually just transferred out of UConn. And I'm going to be playing at Bergen Community College this spring in Paramus, New Jersey with my friend Joe, who just committed UNC out of there. That's my boy. We've been playing since like 11, 12 years old. But that's my plan right now. And, if the opportunity presents itself to get drafted out of Bergen, then I'm taking that. If not, I'm gonna try and go and commit to another D1 out of there. Everything is a journey. Everything's up and down, hills and valleys, but everything happens for a reason. And just in the state I am right now, physical state, mental state, I'm very excited, very free. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to prove people wrong, ready to prove myself right. And my journey has been one like no other, but I'm ready to keep riding it out. So that's where I'm
No
at right
doubt.
now. And I'm very excited for what the future has in store. And like I said, I live with no regrets. So whatever I do, I stand behind, and I do with conviction. So that's me right now. I'm full head of steam forward.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Yeah, that's right.
So, so have you felt that, going through the whole cancer process has made like the situation you were in Yukon, like we don't have to go into all those details, but like now transferring to another school, like regardless of whatever your experience was at the air school, that's not an easy process.
Mhm.
Like have you found that just in general, like that cancer, has it like helped you to be able to process, the other aspects of your life and be able to make changes more seamless and with more ease?
Oh yeah, I mean, 100%. It's really got my mental to a state of maturity, and realize that some things are business, some things I that's my motto I stand by: is everything happens for a reason. But I a little side note: I took a mental age test right after I was declared cancer free on May 1st, 2017. I took a mental age test, and I was 16 at the time, and the mental age test said I was 54, or it was like 56, and
Old
I'm like
soul.
I know,
Jesus
but I was like,
Christ, Josh.
but that's what I for those 10, 11 months of you know chemotherapy and all that kind of stuff I went through, it really matured me and moved my perspective in a way where I don't think many people were at my age. And no matter what's happened in the past and previous years, it's matured me in a way where I see things from a different viewpoint and standpoint, and I know not everything's going to work out the way you want it to, and not everything's going to be right, not everything's going to be wrong, but you always got to find that middle ground, and just have confidence in yourself, be happy with what situation you're handled and given, because at this moment in time, there's kids in the hospital right now that are struggling and going through the same thing I was going through. You got to put yourself into perspective, where it's like, is my life so bad? Am I really struggling right now? Or let me put myself in someone else's shoes and see what they're going through. So no matter where I'm at right now, I'm just so happy and thankful that I'm not where I was beforehand. That whatever happens, I'm fine with. I'm
Right.
uh, I'm never satisfied with what I do, but I'm happy in the situation I'm in right now, because I'm not sick. I'm not what I was like 4 years ago. So
It
Right.
really changes you, like, so when you go through all your conditioning and stuff with the colleges that you're at, whatever, it really makes like those really rough days when you're running and stuff, really makes those days feel a lot less
yeah,
rough than it is, because it's like you've been through worse, and you're just like, if I can get through what I went through, then I can get through this, and it just makes you keep pushing. And
exactly. You put it into a perspective, and you're like, if I was able to do that, then this is easy. Like
this is a cakewalk. This is a
exactly.
cakewalk, and I'll come out on the other end.
Yes, I say it to people all the time. If like we line up to do conditioning, I'm like, don't think of it as conditioning. Think of it as something that's going to better yourself.
Yep.
That's what my mindset is all the time. It's like, no, we're not conditioning to condition. Maybe use this conditioning to actually get better at running your form, or anything like that. But beforehand, I can attest to it that before I had cancer and all that kind of stuff. I used to play basketball before high school, and I remember doing conditioning. It was like 7th, 8th grade, and I hated it. I just like I would wimp out of it. I would I just wouldn't go 100%. I just didn't like the idea of it. But now that I'm, after my treatment and everything, I'm like, this is going to help me. It's going to, make me feel better. It's going to get the best out of me. And it's just a totally different perspective. And I just push through. I'm like, this is going to help. This is going to help. And I think that's totally pushed me into the person I am today.
Absolutely. Andrew, something that I want to ask you is, have you seen directly the results that, your foundation has been able to help out with cancer patients? Like have you been able to to be with a patient like throughout their process, or like see like the money you've raised, because like obviously what you're doing is helping people, like
Yeah.
no question about it, but, like have like because I think from somebody in your shoes, like it would be really special to see like firsthand, like all the hard work that you're putting in and all the connections you're making, and like have you been able to see that firsthand with people?
I've been able to see where the money goes. I've been able to see the organizations that it will affect, and it has been affecting. Like I was like a top donor one month at the Lust Garden Foundation, and they were like, which is a Long Island based. They actually it's another. I donate to another foundation where they have labs connected to, and I know that the money goes to them. They put it straight into the research center, so I know. And then like I've seen like there's new up and coming things in the medicine field. They're pushing new things out for pancreatic cancer. Hopefully, we'll get better at early detection, because it's one of the most, like, you just think it's a back pain or something, or you're sore for a day on your back, but it could end up being, I'm not trying to freak anyone out, but like at least a few people
It's
that I know, and
true.
my dad alone had like, just back pain, and then he had to go get it checked out. It turned out to be pancreatic cancer, So it's it's one of the most undercovered cancers, and it's also the most underfunded one. And it's also like the second or third most deadly cancer, and no one ever talks about it. Not to say the other cancers are like insignificant, but it's just one of those things. It's just like underfunded.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, obviously you were close to this and Josh had experience with cancer. Like I've never really, had a run in with it, or, like a close family member of mine. I'm very fortunate, but, I'm also glad to be, I'm glad to know somebody like Josh for an abundance of reasons. But, for this reason, and, also working with you, Andrew, is to kind of, become more knowledgeable about this topic because of it, like, Josh said it right now, like there are kids right now, there are people right now struggling. And it's definitely something that, needs awareness, and
Oh,
like I'm
it's serious. It's life changing. In my example, I was 15, living life. I felt great. I was still playing baseball, doing all that kind of stuff. The next day, boom, you're told you have cancer. Like my life flipped on a dime, and
Yeah.
I was 15. I was immature. Like I don't know what the hell was going on. I didn't know what I was getting into, but it's serious, and people. It's not that they neglect to think about it, but it's real and it's there. And I know it's very life changing, and can take a toll on yourself, not only yourself, but your families and friends. And it is kind of, everyone talks about, raising money for cancer, stuff like that, but specifically like pancreatic cancer, like it is in a sense underappreciated to raise awareness for it because it's such a deadly type of cancer, which I totally agree with your point, Andrew.
right. And so Josh, once you beat cancer, what was the first time that you got back on the mound in a game, and then
Mm.
go through those emotions?
Oh, that was crazy. I was cancer free May 1st, 2017. And obviously, like I said, throughout my whole treatment, all I wanted to do was get back in the mound. So the second I was told I was cancer free, I started cleaning stuff. I was like, I'm gonna get outside. I'm gonna do whatever I can to get back. I started working out again. And mind you, I was still bald, fat. I had everything. I wasn't moving well. My balance was off, everything. But it took me, but I thank God I had no restrictions coming out. So they're like, yeah, you can go play, like whatever. Just be careful, nothing gets hit here, like whatever. So it was 7 weeks later. I was playing at a tournament in Vineland, New Jersey. It was I think it was June 7th or 8th, something like that, or maybe 5 or 6 weeks. And I pitched one inning because my conditioning wasn't up, whatever. I just wanted to get back in the game. I pitched one inning. I struck out three. I struck out the side, and I come out and I'm like, I'm back. I'm like, I'm back. And I actually have a picture on my Instagram, and the caption is, I'm back, because I posted that right afterwards. I'm like, I didn't miss a beat. Like, yeah, my velo was down and whatever. Like, I can't complain. Like,
Yeah.
what do I care? I'm
I'm
playing
back
again.
doing what I'm loving.
Exactly. I didn't care. I mean, I put a uniform on. I want to do that for so long. Put pants on. What's it called? Eye black, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I'm ready to go. And my emotions were crazy that day because before the game started, pregame, my entire team brought out a banner that said Cohen, because my slogan throughout my time was Cohen Case Cancer. I have a shirt for it and all that kind of stuff, and I have a wristband for it, Cohen Case Cancer, the blue and red one. And they had a whole poster for me. Everyone signed it, and they held it up, and I think I cried. I was like, damn, like I'm really back. Like this is, it hit me hard. I pitched that one in, struck out the side. I'm like I didn't miss a beat. I'm back. And
That's
then the
awesome,
rest,
though.
the rest is history. The rest is history.
Yeah. So I guess last thing I have for you is what are you most excited for your future? I know you're going through a change right now at school, so there's a little bit of an unknown coming up for you, but
Mhm.
we know a lot of people who are at Bergen, so it'll be a little easier for you to transition there, I'm sure. But what are you most looking forward to at your new school and your journey ahead?
I'm looking forward to the opportunity to be myself again, to be free. I feel like I haven't been myself as a pitcher since high school, which I did really well in my senior year. But I feel like I've lost sight of that. I'm always grinding. I'm always working hard behind the scenes and everything, but I haven't really had the opportunity and chance to show that. And I also haven't performed to the best of my ability, which is obviously a knock on me a little bit. All I want is opportunity, and you give me a chance and that opportunity, and I will take advantage of it. And I'm going to run with it. So I'm excited to have kind of like a free range of things. My trainer's here, Jared Forestieri, my pitching coach Evan Daniele's here, my PT guy Nick Mangone's here, like my family, Coach Tommy, like oh my God, everyone's here. So I'm excited to get back to my roots, kind of per se, and just get back to work again and get back to who I was my senior year. I'm 2 years removed now, but I'm excited and you know, just to also play with my friend Joe again. We played club together, played high school together. So I'm just excited to get back to my old days, and I know I can get back to
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah, no doubt. And Andrew, any final thoughts from you, man? I mean, I know me and Josh are really hyped up for this partnership, but if you have any last thoughts.
No, 2021 will be a big year. We're actually doing this on New Year's Eve. I'm very excited to get 2020 in the rearview mirror.
I agree.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying, I'm just leaving the past. It was kind of a down year, like for players getting new players and such for us. But we have a lot of few guys lined up for interviews. We have bracelets being shipped out, so we're starting it out on a good foot for 2021. And I'm very excited for this partnership. It's going to flourish. I have a great feeling about this. And I just can't wait to get this thing going. A lot's
Yes,
going to
sir.
happen. I got break for another 3 weeks, so it's going to be a lot of fun and get this thing rolling.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
And last thing I'll say is, and both you guys, we could talk about this, over, whatever the days or weeks ahead. But one idea I had was I would like to start like a GoFundMe page. And in all my content that I do with Josh and the guys who want to partner with you, Andrew, I want to promote that GoFundMe page, and all proceeds go to you guys at the Keep Smiling Foundation. You guys can allocate that money whichever way you need to. So that's something that I want to do to help out, in terms of this partnership. And I'm really excited about it.
Oh yeah, I'm all with that.
It'd be a true blessing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. And
Yes, sir.
we'll do more. That won't be the only thing. We'll do more, but I think that's a good start for all of us. So
Can't wait to throw that wristband on here, baby.
Yeah, you're getting them soon. I promise. The package is upstairs, ready.
Good stuff. Good
It's
stuff.
sealed. It's sealed.
I'll be wearing it too for sure. I'll be wearing it. So thank you guys for hopping on, and it's I'm very excited, and happy New Year to both of you guys.
Yes, sir. You too, baby.
All right.